In this video, I'm going to give you a bunch of tips and tricks on how to play Schedule 1 more efficiently. Our very first tip actually has to do with the RV, so let's go ahead and let's get into it. If you are for some reason still at the beginning of the game watching this video and you're still in your RV, when you get to the first major town, right over here, do not leave the RV because when you leave it, it's going to explode. Instead, finish growing everything you have inside and pick it up by holding right click and looting all of your stuff so that you can take it as a good start to your first setup. My next tip is to save the game often, and you can do this by any of the places where you're staying. You'll see there's this device on the wall alongside the light switch that you can also do in the curtains. You can go ahead and save the game. It only has like a 1-minute cooldown after you press it if you want to save again for some reason. I recommend doing this before you leave the house at any time. My next tip is going to take you to the hardware store where you'll be purchasing things from Dan over here or any of the other hardware stores. So the main thing you want here is the trash grabber. This thing is so fantastic and you're going to see why in a second. You might also want to buy yourself a few trash bags. Now the trash grabber is fantastic because, well, you make an absolute mess in this game. Like if you see this on the floor, you've experienced this, and this trash grabber allows you to pick up multiple items at once. Now, you're probably thinking then you'd throw it in the bin. You don't actually want to do that. You actually want to kind of throw all the trash in one corner, which is done so really easy when you dump your contents like this. That way you can have all your trash in one location, and instead of using a trash bag on 10 pieces of trash in the trash can, you can see when you hold the trash bag out, it makes a circle, and you can actually put the circle around a bunch of things like this and actually bag all the trash in one go, or at least majority of it. And this will still count as all those trash items. So when you take this to a trash for cash bin, which looks like this, and you open it up and you pick up your trash can and you drop it in, you can press this button and this will actually give you money, the entire amount, $114 for all that trash. Pretty easy, pretty effective, and doesn't take too much time. My next tip is going to take you to the northern end of the map over here to this building. So try to find this building over here called Shred Shack. This is where you're going to get yourself a skateboard. Ideally, you're going to want to get yourself the most expensive one because I think they have different speeds the higher up you go. You can speak to Jeff to buy them. You can see the prices on the wall. And the way a skateboard works is that it takes up an inventory slot and you can hold left click and you can skate. It gives you a much faster way of traveling, and you can also quite simply jump and, make your progress over here. For some reason there's sand on that floor, but yeah, you can basically skate around and travel the map a lot faster, and it's kind of fun too. Now this game does have a police force present, and man, they are always along this bridge. In fact, they're always patrolling the middle area of the map. So right about over here, just from this bridge and everywhere in this central area, they're always walking around up and down. So the best way to avoid them at nighttime is to walk around the outskirts of town. So sticking towards where the water is, you can often avoid them entirely by not taking the bridge and just running alongside it like this, and you'll never have to deal with the repercussions of getting caught or, just running into them at nighttime where they want to arrest you. And the best way to avoid a search is by putting your vegetables on every second slot, not like this next to each other. You want them to have a gap in between so that you're able to hide them one at a time as that little searchlight goes over. My next tip is a little bit of a money exploit. This is the casino over here where you can actually make some extra money. The casino is located right over here at this building. So on the map, you can make your way to the casino here. Now this place only opens up at 4 p.m. So you go in here, and the trick is the slot machines. The slot machines here, you can change them out from $10 to up to $100. And quite simply, there's a very high chance of getting the jackpot multiple times, which is $10,000. And if you stand in the middle here and you spam the handles like this, you can eventually just grind decent amounts of money as you win, because the win results are pretty decent. So you're going to have to spend a couple thousand until you eventually win 10,000, but you will gain money this way. Though I should mention that this is very likely to be nerfed and changed to a bit more of an RNG fact later on. Here you can see I just won 10,000 and pushed my money up into 40,000. Though I'd recommend not taking a huge advantage of this because it's going to ruin the game for you. If you find yourself with way too many products, a great way to get rid of them is by using your dealers, because they will pretty much sell anything and everything. As long as you keep them stocked up with different products, they will sell them regardless of what you have listed for sale. and they are a fantastic way to get more money. Now this goes hand in hand with the products that you have available that you're willing to peddle yourself. So in your phone, you can go into the product screen whenever you want, and you can actually quite simply list which products you want for sale. And this will basically decide on what people message you asking for. So if you only have one product that you want to peddle, you can only list it over here as that one that you want to sell. If you want to sell multiple products, you'll have to go ahead and click them and list them for sale. And if you don't want to sell them, you just unlist them. Quite simply, make sure you update this often so that people aren't requesting things that you do not have. My next tip is to get yourself employees who will work for you and basically micromanage and, make all your stuff for you. Like this dude who basically does all my farming. He just needs a storage crate over here that pretty much has seeds and soil, and he will manage all the pots. I have another video on that more in depth if you want to check that out in the link in the description. But essentially, you can only hire employees at nighttime from the warehouse once you've unlocked access to it through the story. The warehouse is only accessible from 6 p.m. and is located over here on the map. So right by this big building over here, this is the warehouse. You can see where I am right now. You're going to come here. You can use any of the doors. There are multiple ones. There is a red door on this side that I like to use that the cops can't see from the other perspective. And once you access here, you can actually go upstairs to the main room over there where you'll speak with Manny, and you can pretty much hire an employee to do what you want: cleaners, botanists, handlers, or a chemist. And in order to get a worker to work, you'll just whip out your new clipboard that is next to your money at the bottom of the screen, and you will manage the employee that you have at the house that you have them working at, and you just manage them. You'll select the bed to assign them where they need to sleep, since they need a bed and money in order to work. So you'll assign the bed like this. This puts him on this bed, and then quite simply, you will actually just open this briefcase and you'll put money in here so that it counts as their daily wage of $200 to work. If there's no money in here, they just won't work, but they won't leave. I recommend checking out my guide on how to use workers in the link in the description to see more on how to automate the whole system inside your little factory, I guess. My last tip is to do with the stations that you have in the game. The first iteration of stations is not the most easiest to work with. For example, the mixing station. Now there is a clue here where you actually hold right click. You can actually grab a few of these buds at once instead of having to drag all of them at the same time. This just saves you a little bit of time. It is a bit janky though. But you are going to want to ideally work up to the better stations because they're just so much more convenient. You just hit begin and you just move on with your life. Same with the packing station. Just to show you what I mean with the packing station, this is how you pack, pretty much like this. So just look at this, look how convenient this is. I know it's $2,500, but it saves you so much frustration on how long it takes to do it manually. So I recommend getting this as soon as you can. And that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you have any tips or tricks in the comments down below, and thanks for watching.